so I've been trying for 3 years to do this interview. The US government prevented me from doing it by spying on my text messages and leaking them to the New York Times. And that spooked the Russian government into canceling the interview. So I've been trying to do this, but my country's intel services were working against me illegally, and that enraged me because I'm an American citizen, I'm 54, I pay my taxes, I obey the law. And there was no expectation in the America that I grew up in that my government and its intel services, NSA and CIA, which were always outwardly focused on our foreign enemies, would be turned inward against American citizens. And I'm shocked by that, and I'm infuriated by that. And so once I discovered that that was happening, and I confirmed it was happening, and they admitted that they did it, then I was totally determined, monomaniacally dedicated to doing this interview, not simply because I want to know what Vladimir Putin is like and what he thinks about a war that is resetting the world and really gravely damaging my country's economy, but also because they told me I couldn't on the basis of illegitimate means and for no really clearly stated justification. And I thought that can't stand. I want to live in a free country. I was born in one. And I'm going to do whatever small thing I can do to maintain the society that I love.
You are known to be pro-Republican Party, right wing of Republican Party. This is what they claim. They said first you've been a Democrat,
That's not
and
true.
Became a Republican. Okay. Or you are known to be pro-Trump, anti-Biden. What is truthful in this? And you went to Putin.
Yes, the mainstream media is still melting down. Recently, Tucker Carlson appeared at World Government Summit in Dubai. According to this article recently published by Daily Mail, Tucker Carlson continued Putin PR tour in Dubai. Former Fox News host claimed Russian president wants peace in Ukraine. When you go down this article, Tucker Carlson has continued his Putin PR tour as he told a conference in Dubai that the Russian president wants peace and Moscow is much nicer and safer than any American city. As if speaking on behalf of Putin, Carlson claimed the leader is willing to compromise on Ukraine after having an off-the-record chat with him at the Kremlin. Tucker 54 questioned Putin last week in a blockbuster interview which saw Putin control the narrative and make a series of claims about the invasions of Ukraine. We have seen how the mainstream media is melting down. I have a couple of videos I'm going to play. You will see how even journalists in Dubai try to clash with Tucker Carlson, like the interview was softball. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please endeavor to do that, and if possible, share this video.
Do you have an explanation, a reasonable explanation, why there is this anti-war and this very negative remarks about this interview from a lot of your colleagues and a lot of politicians in the world?
One of the ways that I think I'm different is I don't like the internet, and I haven't seen any of the reaction, and I would imagine I'm not the most popular person among my colleagues in the United States. I wouldn't have dinner with them anyway, so it's no great loss. But, I can't imagine what their motives would be. I didn't go to Russia, of course, to promote Vladimir Putin. And if that was my purpose, I'd say so, because I'm not embarrassed. I went because I felt that most Americans, in whose name all of this is being done, don't really know what's happening, and they know nothing about the guy they're supposedly at war with, unofficially. And I just felt that my job, if I have a job in this world, is to bring information to people so they can decide. And so I wanted to do the longest interview I could with Vladimir Putin that contained the most amount of Vladimir Putin talking, not me grandstanding about what a great person I am. When an American journalist interviews someone like Vladimir Putin, the whole point of the interview is to say, I'm a good person and you're not. And that interview was aimed at his colleagues in the newsrooms in the United States. I'm a good person. Why are you such a bad person? You're committing genocide. Okay. That's not fruitful, and that's certainly not my role. I care what God thinks of me, what my wife thinks of me, and what my 4 children think of me, and that's all I care about. So I don't need to prove that I'm a good person. I want to hear Vladimir Putin talk so people in my country can assess what's happening. That's it.
I'll use the devil's advocate.
But advocate away.
Yes. Okay, I'll tell you. you should challenge in the rules of an interview, and you're a master in your business. It's not for me to give you a lecture about that, but you should challenge some ideas. For instance, you didn't talk about freedom of speech in Russia. You did not talk about Navalny, about assassinations, about restrictions on opposition in the coming elections.
I didn't talk about the things that every other American media outlet talks about.
Why?
Exclusively,
Yes, this is
because
my
those are
question.
covered, and because I have spent my life talking to people who run countries in various countries and have concluded the following: that every leader kills people, including my leader. Every leader kills people. Some kill more than others. Leadership requires killing people. Sorry. That's why I wouldn't want to be a leader. That press restriction is universal in the United States. I know because I've lived it. I've asked my former, I've had a lot of jobs. And I've done this for 34 years and I know how it works. And there's more censorship in Russia than there is in the United States, but there's a great deal in the United States. And so, at a certain point, it's like people can decide whether they think, what countries they think are better, what systems they think are better. I just want to know what he thinks. That was the whole point.
Yes.
Yes, I believe you've seen this. Tucker Carlson is standing tall to his word. He had this in Dubai at the World Government Summit where they talk about a lot of things. And this came up. He talked about the backlash, he received from journalists. Some say he's not a journalist, he's a commentator, things like that.
And I grieve when I see that the president is non compos mentis, and that in my country, it is considered very rude to say that.
One thing that really bothers me, how the Daily Mail had to put the title of this article, Territorious Tucker Carlson continue putting PR tour in Dubai. Former Fox host claimed Russian president won peace in Ukraine and said Moscow is much nicer and safer than any American city. This is Daily Mail trying to go off on Tucker Carlson, calling him a traitor. It is insane. I don't get the point why people are calling Tucker Carlson a traitor for simply this interview. This is something that a lot of people actually wanted. Even the same mainstream media have been, begging, to interview this same man. They could not get the opportunity. The person who got that opportunity, they could have appreciated him, for that. Instead, they carry it along, seeing CNN, Fox News melting down like never before. But it's not stopping. He spoke a lot of things about American cities, how, dangerous some can be, especially liberal cities, compared to what he saw in Moscow. It's still a problem to some people, which I don't see why they should be trying over that. He said something again. Tucker Carlson slammed NATO leader for making naive claim about returning Crimea to Ukraine as if it didn't seek independence. That's insane. Actually, even to say something like that, review that you are a child, you don't understand the area at all. Yeah. I've seen, articles, NATO saying they will take back Crimea and give it back, which I don't even want to go deep into that because I know less pertaining to Ukraine history. What I'm more concerned is the panic on the mainstream media about Tucker Carlson
for 2020.
It's laughable that you would, or anyone would describe Davos as protecting liberal democracy. And elites tell us that open borders and even illegal immigration are okay.
And divided by class.
My spirit name is Ozawa Makwa. To my work.
And coming as a white man.
Last week or so, right? Yeah. That old world vision is rearing its head again that says the people cannot be trusted in self-government. They'll ruin themselves, right?
No, you want people to get rid of cows? Are you sure?
I think this is Donald Trump's fault.
Wait. Watch this.
Water there?
I hate my job.